today I have a very special guest photographer. Stuart is not here today, but my son Johnny from Singapore is, and he is standing in for Stuart to do just this very brief intro to something new that we're trying. It's called Signature Style Saturday, and it's where we're going to start parking things like my outfits of the day, products that I really like and find either practical or very stylish. It's a place where you can just give me your comments on things that you consider to be your own signature touches. I'll share mine, you can share yours, and I think it will be a really fun way for us to communicate to one another what we think constitutes a signature style. So I think it will be a lot of fun. Today we're going to look at some things indoors and out that are, well, they're just kind of stylish touches that we try to put onto our lives to make an imprint of gracious living. So what do you say we get started, Johnny?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our first Saturday Signature Style segment, starting with my outfit of the day. From top to bottom, you guys know the drill. My earrings are wonderful handmade feather earrings. I got this at a charming store in Salida, Colorado called Currents. I'm not sure if that store is there anymore, so if you guys live in that area, please let me know. My necklace was a gift from my sister in Prairie, Oklahoma. My ring belonged to my mother-in-law, and I just love it. It's amber and silver. My top is from Banana Republic. It's nice and loose and has kind of that safari vibe that I like. My breeches, my jeans are thrifted. I believe they're Charlotte Russe, and I got these at Goodwill. And lastly, and perhaps most importantly, my sandals. I asked you guys for some comfy walking shoe recommendations, and you guys gave them to me, and I'm trying out various ones. These are Fit Flop sandals, and I can tell you right now that first of all, they are very, very comfortable. I think they're stylish. I like the fact that they've got a little bit of a platform on them, so it makes me feel a little bit taller. And also, if my pants, my jeans, my trousers, my breeches are a little bit long, it gives me that much more clearance from the ground. So many of you have asked about my watch band. I got it off of Amazon, and I will make sure to put a description in the box below. It is just, well, I like it because I had it tailored to my kind of thin wrists so I could form it by taking out some links. So there you go. There is my outfit du jour. Well, today I am out and about, kind of in my neighborhood, definitely within walking distance. I'm at the Oklahoma Contemporary Art Museum. I know, it's pretty cool. It's a really cool facility, and I'm going to be visiting it shortly. But first, I've got kind of a surprise for you. So let's go into the studios, which is where a lot of the artists create their amazing products, amazing works of art, and it is in an old warehouse that is just to the south of the museum. So, are you coming, Stuart? Okay. Okay. Stuart, you don't even know who we're going to see, do you?
That's right.
Hi, yes, I'm Linda Votter, and I am here to see one of the artists. I think you knew that I was coming. Is it?
Yeah, oh yeah, for Roger?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, it's just straight on the hall and to the back.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, have a good day.
So, Stuart, okay, look at this. Is this not so amazing? Obviously, textile artists in here. So you guys know my buddy Roger mostly as a landscaper, but Roger,
Hey.
get your head out of that pot. And for those of you who do not know, my friend Roger, he is a great, great buddy. He has been on this channel before.
Too many times. Y'all are tired of me.
I don't think Sir even knows that you are an artiste.
Not very many people do. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. So tell us a little bit about your medium of choice and how you started working again at this craft.
Well, you know, I was a potter years ago, high school, college, and after college. That was my major at OU. I taught pottery after that, and while I was in school, and then kind of moved into administration, and that led to other things. And then, you know, I landed in landscape design eventually. I mean, all the things I did were generally related to art, design.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, we have in 2023 a true Renaissance man.
I don't know about that.
A true Renaissance man. So this is just so exciting. And I am particularly and very selfishly interested here because you know that I am trying to inject a little bit more blue and white into my home. And you teased me with a couple of your pieces.
Yes.
And I want to see them, but as we see them, you've got a show coming up.
Yes, I'm going to do a show. It's been a long time coming. So I started working again about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and we. It was delayed by COVID.
Right.
I couldn't start, so I rent space here in the studios at Oklahoma Contemporary, and so I usually come here when I leave Garden Design Associates in the afternoon. I come here and work in the evening, and so, well, let's look at some of the pieces.
Okay. So if you think you don't have enough time in your life to get things done, I give you Roger, who can get more done than anyone I know in a 24-hour period of time, and I have lust in my heart.
So these are some of the pieces that will be in the show. These two are finished, these others are in progress. And so typically, like I was doing before throwing, I throw the basic form on the potter's wheel, and then I use these are hydrangea leaves.
Real hydrangea leaves?
Well, no, I use a real leaf. I can show you that. Use a real leaf and press it into the clay and then cut it out and then form it on here. And then I play with a lot of different commercial water slide decals. If you ever did model airplanes or model cars as a kid, you probably use water slide decals. So some of them go on. Yes, they really are designed to be picked up. They have, you know, of course, the leaves in my horticultural interest and the flower designs, and then bugs appear.
Okay.
This one has.
Prairie would go crazy over
this one has some little flies in it. And so the pieces are all about surface decoration and layer on layer on layer of decoration. And so...
So I have to ask, are these watertight? So
yes, they are.
Okay, so you could actually use this.
Right. Yeah, some of these would work as vases. They aren't... a lot of them have fired on gold, which is an actual gold solution, and so that has enough metal in it that it can't go in a microwave. Some of the pieces they all have multiple firings. This piece had probably, first it gets fired as a bisque fire. So some of the colors applied first. Then some of it gets fired to about, I actually took some notes so I could.
Wow.
Yeah, the gold's cool.
So the first firing is about 1800 degrees, and it comes out as just a hard.
Oh my word.
I know,
Those look like little forget-me-nots.
So once that first firing, it's it's a hard clay. It will never dissolve again. Until it's been fired that first time, you can always put it in water and reclaim the clay. And so the first firing just hardens it. And so some of the colors go on then, some of the patterns, the flowers and stuff go on then, and then sometimes I'll do multiple firings at that stage.
And then I love the organic, like I love the fact that this one doesn't sit exactly
right, yes.
flush.
It looked kind of okay like that, but then I really
yeah,
felt like
no,
the same thing like with this little vase, it looked
Yeah.
so much better tilted.
So how many, okay, so tell me about your show.
So it's the first Friday on the Paseo in July, and if you've never been to First Friday on the Paseo, it's a lot of fun.
So-
all the artist galleries, studios are open. All the galleries generally open a new show for First Friday, and my show will be at Studio 6, which is at the north end of the Paseo at 30th and Dewey.
Okay, so what is the first Friday in July going to
It's
be?
the 7th.
It's the
7th of
7th.
July.
Okay, well, we have a mutual friend who has a birthday on that day,
Who's that?
Jeannie Blair.
Oh, okay, cool. I think she may have told me that. I may have that on my calendar. I hope so.
Okay, so to me, these are just exquisite. So is it because these don't have any of the gold appointments on them
Well,
that makes
some
them
of that,
unfinished?
some of that. Well, some of these, the decal, the slip decal, the water glide decal has been applied but not fired.
Okay.
So it's not stable yet. This one has, some of the decals were fired and glazed over, and then some decals have been added. And they will be, so they'll be fired again. Some of these will get more layers of decals, but I can't apply 2 layers of decals at one time.
I see.
I have to put one decal on, fire it, and then if I want to overlap it, fire it again.
So how many pieces will you have? Will you be able to complete? I know that's one of the reasons.
I don't know. The space is very small, which is one of the nice things about it, being a small gallery. I think I could have as few as 15, but I'm hoping to have more. And so these will get, they'll get gold. Some of them will get gold fired on gold. Some of them will get a 24 karat gold leaf applied to them.
Where is your
My
moniker?
signature?
Yes.
Well, not all of
Not
them
all
are
of
signed,
it.
and it's just a
Okay,
simple
okay.
little lowercase r.
Okay.
I don't know if any of these
Okay.
even. So,
These are, this is just, I've seen pictures, so I have cheated a little bit and I have seen pictures, but they really don't translate.
no, they don't,
Three-dimensionality
yes.
of them don't translate into 2-dimension very well. Okay, like what kind of price point are you talking about? Are you still deciding on that?
I'm still deciding on that. They won't be real expensive. I figure I want them to be cheap enough that my friends can walk in the gallery and go, oh.
I want that.
No, I was thinking they'd go, oh, well, bless his little heart. He tried so hard. Here, let me buy one to make him feel good.
Oh, I don't think that's going. I do not think that is going to be a problem.
But,
at all. Word on the street in our little group is that will not be a problem at all.
I hope not, because I really want these to go. I want to share these with friends.
So, can you give us a price range for people that might be wanting to do some Christmas shopping in July? I know you probably haven't put dollar figures on them, just a range.
In the under $100 to about, I can't imagine anything being more than $200 or $300, but mostly probably around 100 to 175 or something like that.
So, for example, how much time when this is complete? How many hours would you have in this?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. For me, the really fun part is throwing the pot, making the leaves, applying, creating the form, and then it is fun to do the decals and stuff like that because it's always a process. But that's the really tedious part.
Right.
Is doing some of that work, and so some of them will have 20 or 30 hours in them.
Oh my word.
So it's hard. I should try to track that a little bit better because I know people will ask that, but it's a lot of hours. So I'll come in the evening and work on putting decals on one piece, and 3 hours later realize, oh, I've done one piece tonight.
So, for example, okay, obviously these are leaves, and these are...
That's ribbon.
Wow.
And so it will get, it'll actually be painted and possibly have some flocking applied to it, so it really looks like fabric, like the old flocked wallpaper. And so there's an obelisk underneath all of this, but this one has magnolia leaves, hydrangea leaves, these are iris leaves, and at this point I've done 2 layers of blue flowers up here and 2 layers of this kind of grassy decal down here, so it's ready to have one more firing, and there'll probably be one more layer of...
Obviously, nature is a muse.
Definitely.
What other things would you say? Like, I definitely see lots of blue in here.
Well, we both share that love for blue and white.
Right.
So a lot of the pottery traditions, like Chinese porcelains, this piece with the blue on blue, I believe it's in the Metropolitan. There's a little Egyptian paste hippo that's turquoise and cobalt blue.
Oh my goodness.
And most of these are unconscious inspirations, but as I'm working on a piece, I'll see, I will see that that coming out in it. And there's the Japanese tradition of forms, teapots that look like they're a big peach with leaves and a stick for a handle. There's all sorts of inspirations like that.
Well, oh my goodness. Okay, well, can I exploit our friendship?
And?
Can I have this one? Can I buy this one?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe.
I adore this one.
Well, you have to wait and see all of the pieces.
I know, but then I'm afraid somebody else will exploit
we'll
you
look
and
at
come
that.
in.
We'll look at
Okay,
that.
well, on the spot, I know.
Right.
I'm sorry, but if you...
Cut that part out, Stuart. Cut that part out.
If you don't take advantage of your friends, who are you going to take advantage of? Because I'm thinking this one, but then this one is really speaking to me,
but then, we do have some functional pieces that have lots of blue and white. This one has had 1 firing, or actually 2 firings. And so,
golly.
Anyway, there's...
Stuart, if you can just kind of get oh, look at that one back there that's turquoise and blue.
That's another one. I kind of did a series of pots on a rock, where there's just this kind of refined pot sitting on this rough rock.
That has a very Japanese quality to it.
That's waiting for some gold, gold to be fired on. This one is waiting on gold. There's another pot sitting on a rock.
Wow. Well, is there anything else you need to show us to whet our appetite? And
I don't know.
I will definitely be putting in our community tab and on Instagram a real preview of all of this before the show.
Sure, yeah.
And we can give people kind of an idea of what will be available for sale. But if you're, I'm to the point now where I'm very discriminating about the things that I am bringing into my home. Why?
I haven't gotten there yet. I'm totally indiscriminate. I am a hoarder.
You are a hoarder. So you are the quintessential maximalist. But I'm trying to my home is smaller.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be more discriminating and only have things that really speak to me on a visceral level or a practical level, I should say also. And so
I was going to just show, this is where, so I've rolled out the clay on top of this leaf, and generally I'll cut it out and manipulate it while the leaf is still attached so I don't damage the delicate lines, but I can probably go ahead and
Well, don't damage a
Oh,
work in
it's not.
progress on our account.
Oh, it's.
Was it hard to get back into it after having been away from?
It really wasn't. It was.
Is it like riding a bike?
It kind of is, yeah. I mean, I've definitely improved in the time that, but so then that leaves all the impressions of the
yes.
veins.
Wow.
And you know, and I'm very specific about, you know, whether it's a magnolia leaf
Right.
or
Right.
iris, that's kind of a part of it too. And so sometimes there'll be a play between the leaf and the floral or the bug or something like that.
And again, I love like the way this one is sitting on just a slightly
Right,
quirky,
yes.
angle, and that organic with the gloss is just, well, all I know is these things are going to go fast. So we've got to scoot. but
Okay, well, thanks for
thank you
visiting.
so
Okay, it's
much.
always good to see
And
you.
And you need to come back. We haven't been back
We-
to the cottage
oh, I
recently.
know.
This is
know.
the time of year when landscapers just
We are so busy.
just people who work on the landscapes are just incredibly busy. So
And we have so many amazing projects going on
Well,
right now.
We will try to visit
So-
some of those, but here is just kind of my advice for today, and that is if you are working with anyone in landscaping and landscape design, garden design, or whatever, we've had a tremendous amount of rain lately. Just be patient with all of them. You know, I know a lot of people are getting ready for graduation events or things like that, but there's only so.
Well,
there's
at this
only
point,
so
it's pretty much
much.
too late to get on almost anybody's schedule for the spring.
But just even for
But-
just maintenance, getting your lawn mowed and
Yes.
things like that,
Yes.
there's been so much rain that it's just, you know, we just have to be patient because we kind of like to click our fingers and have things
I
done.
do want to put in a special plug. The Oklahoma Contemporary Art Museum is amazing.
Right.
The exhibitions they do there and the programs they do there are awesome. This space, the studios, is awesome too. They have a full range of classes. Enrollment just opened for the summer session that starts July 10th. And there are pottery classes for every stage, you know, raw beginner, people who've never touched clay.
Painting.
They have painting and drawing classes in the museum, so I'm not as familiar with those, but here they have weaving, sewing, dyeing.
Yeah, we saw
they have
textiles.
jewelry making, sculpture, printmaking.
Wow.
They also have, if you can't commit to like a 4-week or an 8-week class, they have these really cool workshops where it's just focused on one specific thing, like making a mixing bowl and a whisk,
Yeah.
you know, and it's
Yeah.
all, it's a great for a lot of people do that on dates.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's a fun thing. Obviously, tons of stuff going on here at the studio, at the museum, and you guys tap into your right brain and your creativity, and we will see you back here again later. Well, I love my neighborhood. I especially love it when we're shooting and somebody comes up on the upper terrace bearing gifts. So you are?
Yes, I'm Cassie from Prairie Surf Media, and I'm just here to drop by a little gift. So this is from Harry and David to show our appreciation.
Okay, this is so nice. So recently I did a video in conjunction with Prairie Surf, sponsored by 405 Magazine and Cadillac, and we had so much fun. And I did not know I was doing it for treats. But how fun is this?
What a cool basket.
What a cool basket. And by the way, you guys, this is not staged. I had no idea, did I, that you were
No.
coming.
A complete surprise.
And talk just a little bit, give us a blurb about Prairie Surf.
Yeah, so it's a media production company. We work on our own creative projects as well as bringing in different movies and TV shows. You might have seen Tulsa King, which was produced and shot in Oklahoma City. So the old Cox Performing Arts Center. We have totally renovated it and created sound stages,
too,
and it's
yeah.
really wonderful
It's
for the
really-
Oklahoma City community.
Yeah, it's really cool. Well, this is so nice of you to do this.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. I did not expect this. This was not programmed, but This is so fun because my son Johnny he lives in Singapore and he's going to be coming home this weekend. I might just leave this all intact and just put it on his bed like I got it for him or something.
Amazing. I won't
know.
tell.
Yeah, don't tell. Yes, don't tell. Thank you so
course.
much for visiting my little cottage on the hill.
It's beautiful.
I'm at the farmers market in Scissortail Park in Oklahoma City, and I am seeing this really effective use of sunshine ligustrum over on this side, and on the other side, look at that orange rocket barberry. Really, really beautiful in huge groupings. Well, I've promised to give you a final tour of the cottage in its entirety upon completion, but right now I still have lots of guests. And so as not to intrude on their privacy, I'm just going to give you a little snippet of the parlor, the kitchen, and a specific corner. And I was looking at it today and I thought, boy, this really speaks to what I consider to be all of my signature touches, my interests, and just a few elements of garden-inspired living right here in this corner. So I'm going to go through them one by one. And it's not that they're really anything that special. It's not that they're particularly valuable or noteworthy because I am, I'm such a great designer, anything like that. We all have the ability to put together personal spaces. But I thought it would be fun for me to point out, you can see a glimpse of me in the mirror, some of the things that in this little vignette represent so many of my interests, encapsulated right here. And I would encourage you to do the same exercise in an area of your house. So, and there are a couple of products here that I am going to point out to you. Some I got locally, some of my bought online. I know you will ask for the links, and so we will make sure to put the links below. But this corner right here, this is, well, for lack of a better word, it's just a bar table. I've had it for years and years and years, and it follows along my philosophy of use what you have. So wherever possible, from the old house to this house, I wanted to use what I had. So this is kind of a bar. It's just a small table, a setup as you walk in the door. It's a place where I can have some of my favorite gardening books, some of my favorite books in general, which is very much what I consider to be a signature touch of mine. And as I am beginning to introduce more blue and white, not a ton of it, by the way. I know there are people that are just absolutely obsessed. I just want little elements, a little seasoning of it throughout my house as a departure from the color palette of my previous home. So you can see here that I've got some touches of blue and white. I bought this beautiful tray from a local store here, but I also found it online, and I will show you the link. It was not expensive, and I love the fact that it's blue and white, but it also has a touch of something that really speaks to me right now, and that is brass. And I'm using more and more brass in my inside decor. You guys also know I like a glass of wine every now and again. So when I'm entertaining on the social patio, I can have a small bar set up right here with whatever my wine for that evening is. And by the way, here's a tease, because tonight I'm having some friends over, all for the most part all new friends, on the social patio out front to do a wine tasting with a new friend I just met who is a sommelier, and we're going to select my White House wine for the summer, for the spring and summer. Something else that speaks to our interests here, this Native American painting speaks to both my love of thrifting and also the culture here in the southwest part of the United States. You can see this is a no-brainer for any of you who have followed me for any length of time, and that is my love of topiary. So I've got a representative of it right here on this table. And I've got a small clock with a brass surround.
to the numbers that belonged to my second mom. And so that's another thing. What few things I want to have in my life now, I want them to really be important to me. Here's a signature tile stitch that you guys have seen me demonstrate many, many times, and that is my love of hats. I have a number of them. And on any given day, you will find me in a chapeau. This is actually a recent addition. I love it, and I will put a link to it below. Some of my favorite books this year. And by the way, I do look at them frequently. They don't just sit in place without being touched. And then finally, this is kind of an homage to a couple of different places I love. So those beautiful blue and white fringed napkins, those I bought on Arab Street in Singapore when I went there for my son Johnny's wedding. And then the beautiful bowl that they sit in, I bought that at an art festival in Santa Fe. So just in this small area, and I should also point out my love of baskets and anything woven. I bought this fabulous basket at a Goodwill store in a small town in Oklahoma. And then this beautiful floor pillow in blue and white velvet. I bought that on eBay, which is another great source. So this little corner contains a number of things that I consider signature touches of my own. Most of these are familiar to you because you've seen them before. And if you haven't, if you are new to this channel, here's my spiel. You've heard it before. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and most importantly, share the link of this channel with others that might enjoy this little community. But make sure, please, that in the comment section below, you share what you consider to be some of your signature touches with all of us.